while we're sitting here waiting to see if these elephants come down and drink at a waterhole that I've planted a GoPro at, I'll just run through what we carry on board here when we're out typically shooting. I'll have a 5D Mark III with a 70-200 and a 1DX with a 2-400 lens. Tonya will have a 100-400 lens on a Mark III, and her second camera is a 300mm lens on a Mark III. Also, there's a 6D and a 7D that will either have one or the other. 6D will have a 24-70 on it, and the 7D will have a fixed 500. And on top of that, there are 3 GoPros, one on the copter and 2 that we use on top of the buggy. Oh, and also the buggy has a 5D Mark III with a 16-35mm lens in it. Now that needs to stay in there all the time just in case something happens, because it takes about 5 or 6 minutes to get that thing ready, and we don't want to muck around because, as you probably realise, wildlife does not wait. Focusing, we don't use the shutter button for focus, we use the rear AF on button, and we disable the autofocus feature on the shutter button. In terms of memory cards, the Mark III uses both a CF and an SD card, whereas the 1DX uses only the CF cards, and we always set them to shoot on CF. SDs are much slower and they fill up quicker, and there's a buffering and you often miss shots, so always make that your second card, your backup card. Polarizers, we use them when it's required, both in the bigger lenses, which are the smaller drop-ins, and the screw lenses on the front. Covers on the cameras, these rubber things, and on the bigger lenses, obviously a bit more rubber, essential. Otherwise your lenses just get scratched, and that's the last thing we want for resale value, and because it just looks better, and there's some element of camouflage. We shoot in aperture priority mode, and an important thing is that after every sighting, when we finish there, we reset the cameras to something neutral, perhaps 5 f-stop, 5.6 shutter speed, getting us around 500 at least, and an ISO to suit. Because often, and I'm sure if you're a wildlife photographer or any sort of photographer, when you pick up a camera and something exciting is about to happen, you take a few shots and you realise it's on manual or it's set at f22, that is highly frustrating. We also carry in here a monopod. Occasionally we'll need that, but on this particular vehicle and on some of the others we've had, we've asked the camps to put a rail, lash a rail down the side, just to give us some support to keep the camera nice and still. And a couple of extras we bring along with us, a flash, along with that extender that focuses the flash. Invaluable. Marvellous difference between a shot that's taken without that flash and with a flash, yes, even in daylight. This is a great example here of these lion shots. And another thing that comes in handy is graduated filters. I use the Lee filter system, and we bring with us a 0.9 graduated filter, and we also bring with us a Lee Big Stopper, which is a 10-stop filter, and great for making waterfalls appear white and milky. Perhaps one of those tips will help you in your endeavour to get greater photos.